Welcome.
Hey.
Last minute rush to get everything set up.
Oh, it happens. Don't worry.
How are you doing?
I'm pretty tired, but got finished with all of the conference things today and got to go home a
Mhm.
little bit early. So can't complain.
Nice. Whew. I am let's see, was it 9 chapters or pages, whatever, away from being done with my devotional. So my goal is to finish that tonight, but we will see if that actually happens.
Yeah. Awesome.
And then obviously I'll need to like go through and edit and whatever else. But since it's, less than a week away until Mother's Day and I really want it to be done.
Oh,
Hello, welcome.
hello. Video wonders. This is ice cream,
Ah,
the
nice.
best flavor.
Now what is
Grater's
that?
raspberry chocolate chip.
Oh. Let's see. Turn that off. Closing all my extra tabs. I use this laptop for like absolutely everything, and it has a million tabs open all the time. And
Oh,
then I just never turn it off because I don't want to lose my tabs. I really need a better system. But it's like I have them all where I want them. I want them to stay there.
exactly. I remember the most daunting IT call with someone ever that I had to walk this lady through how to like move windows around and have them side by side on her iPad. It was like the worst
Oh,
of all time because I wasn't there in person. I couldn't like physically experiment with the iPad. I had to like talk her through it, and she didn't know all the right answers to do it. She's like, "That's terrible."
yeah. Exact reason why I procrastinate updating my laptop. Yeah. I really need to be better about like shutting it down and all that because I know it's good for it to shut down and do its updates, but I have my tabs. Right now, I have 3 different windows open. One has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 tabs open. Another one is just my timer because I have to have that in a separate window when I stream and they have to be like next to each other. I don't want them to be side by side fully because then my working screen is too small, but the timer has to be visible to some degree because I realized that if I just have it running in the background, it will freeze on stream and the timer won't be counting down. So
Yeah.
I have to have it like one is kind of overlapping over the other one a little bit. And then I have a third tab that has, oh my goodness, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 different tabs open because it was when I was doing all my research into literary agents. And so I have like each agent's different submission guidelines open and like all of their websites and stuff like that for how to submit. So yeah, lots of tabs.
That reminds me, this weekend, for the first time ever, I mean, I technically knew these existed, but I've never seen one in person. It was like an attachment to a laptop that I saw someone using that is like a second screen that kind of folds out from the laptop, like slides out side by side. I want to say, I tried
Hmm.
to find a picture of like what it looked like. It was something like one of these, if you can see what this.
Yeah, I can kind of
Like
see it.
kind of clips on and slides out. It's the neatest thing ever. I don't know how practically it stacks up against just bringing
Having a second
external
monitor
screen,
or
but yeah.
yeah, interesting. At some point, once I get a webcam that's not just on my laptop, I'm gonna actually set up my desktop computer for streaming and then I'll have to, get all my tabs moved over onto my desktop computer.
Oh.
But hopefully it should be a lot smoother on like an actual desktop computer that can handle more and all that.
Yeah. I'm sure I don't know about what browser would do this, but I'm sure there's a way that you could save like a tab layout or something, or you can pull up a saved tab situation, whatever you would call that array
Ye
of tabs.
Yeah, I would think so. I remember my dad used to have some setup where it would basically always be, like, on in the background, but he could shut it down it would in the like, to a sleep mode, and then when you would turn it back on, it would all be the same. If I'm remembering correctly, this was years ago, so I don't fully remember, but I remember it wasn't just, like, shutting it down, it was something else. But
Fancy.
hello, Polyboony. I'm trying to click on it. There we go.
Hello.
Alright. I have several goals today. As always, I'm gonna have to do a sprint of cleaning the kitchen because I have a dirty kitchen and I need to clean it.
Yes.
You know, but, dishwasher is actually already running from doing the kitchen earlier, so all I can do right now is, like, hand wash stuff, so
Oh no.
hopefully it shouldn't take
Sorry.
me too long. And then after that, I'm going straight into writing and finishing this darn book today is the goal.
Today is
We'll
the
see
day.
we'll see if it actually happens, but I'm gonna try my darndest. So, I'm thinking about doing just, like, instead of rolling for sprint times, just doing 25-minute sprints and then, like, 5-minute breaks in between just to kinda keep us moving since I'm horrible about containing my break times.
I've
Yeah,
got like 4 things listed, so I don't know if you're rolling for the actual tasks that you're doing or whatever. I could just
I'm
wait.
not. I'm just gonna do 1 sprint of kitchen and then straight into writing
Okay, if we
'cause
get 4 sprints in, I've got 1 task for each.
cool. Alright. So, let me get my other screen set up. Let us know in the chat what you guys are working on tonight.
And then my 4 tasks are take a shower, which should hopefully not take all the 25 minutes, but if it does, it does. um, clean my room because it's not on camera, but it is absolute chaos elsewhere in my room. Right, because I also have some writing to do, and I have a fundraiser to work on. I've got to raise a lot of money from various yard sale items, so it won't happen till like a couple months down the road, but I've got to at least get them priced and organized and stuff. Because my cat had a lot of medical bills.
Mm. Yeah. Yes, we live for the stream banter. Ah, studying for finals.
Ooh,
Nice. Alright. Let me go ahead and get my banner going. And we will go ahead and start our sprint in 3, 2, 1. Go. And time is up.
All right, that's pretty good. You can probably tell I got my shower in.
Yes. Let me see. I'm kind of experimenting. Oh, not that. That is not what I want. Trying to figure out if there's a way to make the timer a little bit smaller, but and still have both of us. But not sure if that is to be. I will go ahead and start our short break time. It's not going to show on screen, but you and I will see it down below. All right. I got enough of the kitchen done that I feel okay being done with doing the kitchen. It's like Palivuni is asking, what sort of items are we selling at the yard?
Yeah, so it's kind of all sorts of things. Anything from like clothes that no longer serve me and fit my style or whatever. A bunch of books that my mom helps, like reading, tutoring. I want to say like 11-year-old now, but he's outgrown a lot of the books now that are below that level. So she's given me a bunch of those that I can resell. And yeah, basically just leftover household items that when I moved a couple years ago, didn't end up using. I was like, okay, haven't used it in a couple years, probably not going to use it. But yeah, it's no, I'll keep it brief because I know it's kind of sad. I don't want to like make anyone like really sad, but just a little over a week ago, I did very suddenly and unexpectedly lose one of my cats to heart failure. So it all kind of kicked off on Tuesday of that week, and he just woke up with a severe urinary blockage. He was vomiting. He was like really not able to use the bathroom. So I took him to the vet, and they're like, "Yeah, it's a urinary blockage. It can be life threatening. We got to treat it." So immediately, that was like well over 1,000 as far as costs go, medical wise. And it continued over the week. We had to take him to the vet almost every day with various complications with that. He kept having another flare up, needing different meds. And then like the evening portion, I'll say that the evening portion of Saturday, he would kind of been exhibiting symptoms before, but I thought it was connected to the urinary blockage. He just started like breathing really quickly, and something was really off. Like he was laying around listlessly. The meds should have been working by now. So we took him back to the emergency vet who had seen him on the Friday night, and they looked at him again, and they're like, he is going into heart failure. We did not know he had this condition before. There's no way that it would have shown up on regular vet visit tests. And yeah, it was within the half hour. Like we went in just thinking it was like a recheck, maybe some different meds. We left without him. It was that quick. Like I was very much in shock for a long time. Still kind of am. Still looking around the house and like expecting to see a second cat. And unfortunately, he was only 2 years old too. So it's just like you don't expect
That's
it.
so sad. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you. It's not been easy, but I have certainly been grateful for my other kitties still being around to comfort me. I've gotten some extra cuddles, and yeah, I treasure the time that I did have with my cat bear. He has never been in the greatest of health anyway. He's overall pretty healthy, but like for his age, he had some issues flare up from time to time. So the way that I look at it, we probably bought him 2 years of life by adopting in the first place. Because before then, he was just an outdoor kitty without a home. And he probably wouldn't have lasted long if that had been the situation. So glad that I adopted him.
Yeah.
And the 2 years we had were excellent.
It's a good way to look at it.
Mhm.
Yeah. Well, that's always rough. How's Bree doing?
She's handling it better than I would have thought. She's very intelligent, and I'm surprised that she hasn't been looking around for him. but I put it down to potentially she may have begun to grieve before I did, because sometimes animals have an awareness if another animal
Yeah.
died. And back and forth from the vet all the time, he just smelled like the vet, so she would hiss at him. She didn't really want to be nearby. So in a way, she sadly lost her connection with Bear before I did, because of that.
Yeah. That makes sense. Hmm.
Mm,
Alright, that's just about our break time over.
okay.
So, I am gonna be writing this next sprint and, let's see, let's get to my regular timer. Nope. Um, turn this on. All right. I have 9 days of devotional to write. So we will see how many days I get through in this second sprint, but first writing sprint.
Yay! I got this.
And what are you working on this sprint?
And this time, I think I'm going to finish boxing yard sale items since I started that after finishing my shower.
Okay.
This is a really weird situation though. So there's a book with some pages stuck together that I have to
Oh.
unstuck before I can label it for the yard sale.
Yeah.
Because no one is going to know whether it's gum or some other
Right.
thing sticking it together. So I got to get that sorted. But yeah.
All right. Let's get started then in 3, 2, 1, go. All right, time is up.
All right. Just about filled an entire yard sale box.
Nice. I got 2 days written plus part of a third.
Sweet.
Yeah, that was a dinner sprint. Understand.
Yep, understandable.
I have definitely had those sprints. I'm often watching the Troublemakers sprints. I don't know if you've seen their channel, but they'll do sprints like throughout. I think they normally start at like 10 a.m. on the days that they sprint. But I'll always start on their streams like while I'm working and stuff, and so then I'll use sprint to try and like super focus time, get a lot of work done. But then one of their sprints always falls over my lunch break. So it's always awkward timing because I'm like, well, I'm doing nothing this sprint. I'm just eating some food because I am clocked out. Ah, that's where you found the stream. Awesome. Writing a grammar. Okay. Coming along. Yes. My brain at the end of this project is feeling much less motivated to get it done than it did at the beginning of the project, which is the case for all of my projects, but you know, I'm
It's
especially
entirely
feeling this one since I gave myself a time limit.
It helps to have a time limit on these things.
Yeah, especially since it's like it's not that hard of a project. It's not the same as like trying to write like a fiction novel type thing because you've got so many pieces you're working with for like a plot with subplots and character arcs, and you're trying to make it feel realistic in the world and with the characters and everything, whereas with this it's like I just have a bullet point list of topics and then I'm flushing them out with whatever's on my mind kind of a thing. So it makes it a lot easier to write. But at the same time, every single day, it feels like that awkward moment when you're trying to write a card for somebody and you're like, oh, I don't know what to write. It's like, oh, now what do I write for this one?
I was like, oh
Ugh.
no, there's so much empty space in this card. What on earth am I gonna do? They'll think that
Like
I
when
did.
you're writing thank you cards after graduation or something like that, and everyone's giving you stuff, and you're like, oh, thank you very much for the $20. I very appreciate it. And you're like trying to make every letter sound unique, and yeah, that's where I'm at with this project. So I'm kind of just writing whatever comes to mind right now, and then I'm gonna go back through and flush them out a little bit more to maybe not be so clunky.
Yeah, that's super helpful. Yeah.
Oh, I forgot to start our break timer.
Oh,
We'll get a
Great.
slightly longer break this time, so I'm just starting it now.
Hey.
Ugh. So, now that I've given us a longer break, what to talk about?
I was looking at my list here of things I need to do, and I was just like, yard sale. For some reason, I just naturally rank things in order of ease. Like taking a shower was the easiest because
Mm-hmm.
it's relaxing, it's nice. And then boxing up yard sale items is kind of fun because there's the immediate benefit of having less stuff on my floor.
Yeah.
It's just sitting there ready to be boxed and priced and stuff.
Yeah.
And I'm avoiding some of the other things.
I feel like there's a lot of different ways to look at productivity and like how to order things. 'Cause it's like I've definitely am the same way where I want to get the easiest things out of the way first because then I can feel like I've made more progress because I've checked more things off the list. But then at the same time, it's like I've heard of the was it the like eat the frog first or whatever it's called? I don't know. Have you ever heard of that?
I think I have, yeah. It sounds vaguely familiar because I remember laughing about it then. Just
Yeah.
when or where I heard it.
This is like you have a list of things to do, and one of them is to eat a frog. The longer you put that off, the more it's just stuck in your mind. So it's just like, just get it out of the way, do it first, and then the whole rest of the day is easier. But it's like, I'm so bad at doing that. I have just. But especially when it comes to doing things like cleaning, if you're in a really cluttered space, I feel like it's not necessarily the most difficult thing that makes it feel easier, like getting that out of the way. It's the thing that looks like the biggest difference. So
Yeah,
it's
because
like,
you need to see some kind of progress to get that motivation to keep going, and it's
yeah,
the easiest quick reward.
because like if you're in a super messy room and you've got like big boxes of crazy stuff everywhere, and then you've got like a drawer full of random knickknacks that are like this big, like that might be the most difficult and time consuming part is to like go through all your knickknacks and organize them, but the room's not going to look any different, and it makes more sense to go through and get the biggest things out of the way so you feel like, oh man, look at this crazy clean room that I can now sort my knickknacks in, and
Yep.
it's not as awful. So yeah, unfortunately, my only tasks left in the evening are the same task over and over again,
Oh,
so I don't really get to choose an order that is better, but hopefully I get it done, and then I don't have to have this hanging over me anymore.
I will say that one of my tasks is also writing, and I've been avoiding it because it's been so long since I worked on the project with just all the stuff that went down the past couple of weeks that
Mhm.
just didn't have the brain power to get back into it. And now I'm detached enough from the project, like the ideas aren't really churning. And I know once I get going, it'll be great, but um,
Yeah,
getting going.
I definitely get that. I have so many projects that it's like, "Oh, I should write this again," but I don't feel it right now, and I just have no interest in picking it up. But it's like, if something sparks a thought about it, then I'll start getting all these ideas, and it's like, "Oh, wait, maybe I do wanna write it."
Mm,
But until that happens, it's just like, meh, it can just sit over there.
yeah. It's interesting how like some of my productivity has been affected by the grieving process. Like there's some type of tasks that are like really easy to do and almost bring me peace to
Mhm.
participate in. And there's other things that it's like I have trouble touching it. Like as
Yeah.
silly as this sounds like, I could not for the longest time, and I'm almost getting brave enough to do it, but I could not for the longest time vacuum my room because
Mm.
even though like it's not like it's super super special, if it's mixed in with all the other hairs that have accumulated on the carpet, there's hair is there, and I don't want to remove it. And it's a part of the place. I don't want to like vacuum away his scent from the last places that he was and things like that. But I know that I have to do it because I can't live in a place where the fur keeps piling up on the floor, and I have another one that's constantly shedding. So I know I have to do it. But
Yeah.
there's other things that came easier. I think I just had to kind of like take the burst of productivity when it came. Like the first week, there was like pockets of like great mental clarity where I could actually do things like call about the bills and stuff. And then there are other moments where I just could not.
Yeah.
But it'd be like that.
Yeah.
Um, but productivity for me and cleaning on the whole, like with those like few notable exceptions, um, is very healing, and it's a stress mechanism. So it almost always like goes to the top of the list whenever I'm dealing with something big. It's very
Yeah,
healing to clean something.
gotcha.
Yeah.
Is this directed at Heidi?
Yeah, well, if it is directed at me, my sister and I did write some drafts of some books that we still haven't edited and published yet. So like there was more stuff kind of in the works. It kind of went on pause once just life was lifing, and now that we live in different locations, it's a little bit harder to collaborate on that. She's brought it up a couple of times, but I'll be honest, like our schedules have not really aligned. Like when she has time to work on it, I haven't had time to work on it, and vice versa. So I don't know if it will happen or not, but it's nice that we do have a few drafts out there, so we have something to work with if and when we decide to pick it back up again.
Yeah.
Mm.
And you could always just like work uh what's the way I'm not sure how I'm trying to say this, but like if you have a shared document that you can make additions to at different times and then just like read over each other's additions. So it's
Yeah,
like you could like not at the same time, but just kind of go through stuff if that makes sense.
yeah, the technology has definitely improved since we last worked on this.
Yeah.
Or at least the technology that we know how to use has expanded. I'm sure that technology existed back then, but
Yeah.
just weren't as used to the collaborative software.
'Cause, yeah, especially with, like, Google Docs and stuff, you can, like, leave comments to each other, and, what I feel like I would do if it was me is put anything new in, like, a different color, and then if like, what's been added, and you can, like, change it back to black once you've gone over it and made whatever, you know,
Mhm.
just, like, different ways of working collaboratively like that.
Yeah.
Our timer ended a while ago, so I'm gonna start our next sprint. I'm gonna
Alright.
try to get through another 2, maybe 2.5
Yeah,
pages.
that's good.
Let's see. Whoops, I keep not actually clicking the button. There we go.
And this time, it was so satisfying to put together that box of yard sale things. I'm frankly probably just gonna do another. We'll see.
Okay.
But if I'm back here before the timer is up, it most likely is because I finished the box and am back to writing.
All right. Good luck to you. Let us know in chat what you guys are working on for this sprint. We will start in 3, 2, 1, go. And time is up.
All right. Yeah, pretty productive there.
Welcome.
Hello.
Glad to have you join us. That sprint, I think I finished the one that I had started and then did another one. So not quite as much done that time, but
Oh,
got 5 left before I'm done. Studying occurred. Congratulations.
all right.
Need to hunt down some dinner, then get to studying for a psychology test.
All right.
Ooh,
Study time.
apparently lots of studying going on.
I know where I'm going to be for the next however long Bree chooses.
Yes. I'm kind of thinking I want to do a short sprint, maybe like a 10-minute or something, just to kind of walk around, stretch my legs, maybe get myself a beverage so that I can settle back in and focus a bit more, if that makes sense.
Yeah, totally.
I just now started our break timer again.
Really on a really good streak of yard sale items right now, so I might keep at it until I run out of yard sale items because this has been like really productive that way.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad. Oh, psychology test. Here, so we got 2 psych
Oh.
majors. Intro to physiology for a research certificate to put on your master. Ooh,
Oh, fantastic.
masters. Nice. I was a drama kid, so I never got much into that. I always liked the idea of psychology. I think I had to take a couple of I forget the requirements for my degree because I just got like an associate's degree, but there was some sort of psychology test or classes that I had to take, but it was just like intro levels. And I realized very quickly that that was not the field for me.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I was looking at some of these, like we had to read research papers for that class, and it was so painful trying to read research papers by like 9 or 10 scientists that have none of them have.
Oops, I think your mic just cut out.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, now I can. That was strange.
Weird.
Oh, back now, so that's what
My
counts.
mic has just been acting up, and it's like even after I switched to the headset, it's being dramatic. But I'm just, trying to read these research papers where none of them have English as their first language. It's all just in big words that mean nothing to me. And I have to like figure out how to read them all one at a time, get the definitions, and then somehow string it together into a sentence. And then I realize there's not a verb in that sentence. I don't think that's actually a sentence. What are they saying here? And then it's just 10 pages long. And now it's like, okay, now I have to figure out what this article is saying and then give a speech about it.
Oh.
So yeah, I was just like, I'm interested in never doing that again. Ooh, master's in library science. Nice. What do you plan on doing with that degree? Is that like I don't know much about that sort of thing. Would that be like a librarian type of thing, or would that be like some specialty field? Yes, lots of research paper reading.
For sure, yeah. As an English communication major, I quickly figured out that I could get to the crux of the matter by reading just the short little blurb at the beginning, but it
Uh,
probably showed in some of my writing that I could write stuff that sounded convincing. So when it came to coming up with a report, read the abstract, and if it did interest me
yeah,
more, I'd go deeper. But
yeah, makes sense. Um, I of course this was back before AI was a thing, really. So nowadays you could just take the article and put it into ChatGPT or whatever and be like, "Hey, can you summarize the main points of this?" And then use that as like an outline as you go so you know what you're doing. It's
that's
like
true.
obviously it wouldn't be right to, make the
Yeah.
AI write your actual homework for you, but to, translate it into regular spoken English.
Yeah, I've been having a lot of conversations about AI lately, and the recurring thought that that stuck with me is that AI is a tool, but as soon as you start to use it as a tool, like in a not good way, like it's just the same as any other tool, like people that find ways to cheat on learning or find shortcuts, like reading the Cliff's Notes rather than reading the actual book. Like you're going to miss things if you do it that
Mhm.
way, but it's not to say that it's not within our reach. It certainly is within our reach. It can certainly speed stuff up, but the same repercussions will result as if we
Right.
took other kinds of shortcuts. So it's just like, how much do you want to get out of education, especially if you're paying for it? I feel like a lot of the high school students, if it's just, they go to the public school, it doesn't hit their own wallet, but once you reach the college level, you really need to be thinking like, okay, like if you haven't figured it out in high school, a lot of people will eventually figure it out in college because it will actually hurt if you have to retake a class. But
Yeah.
even then, some do not figure it out. But um,
Yeah, it's so crazy. I keep seeing all these Reddit stories about like from teachers who warn their students about they check for AI and, you know, all of that in their papers and these students just blatantly use it like they have no idea how obvious it is that they're using AI. It's like it's so crazy to me that people just have no problem with that.
yeah, I'll say though on the flip side though, because AI is really good at following rules and hence grammar rules and such, I found that it's been a little bit punishing as someone that is good at English and grammar to write
Yeah.
an article very well, and then someone's like, "Ooh, your article is like 60% AI." Like someone tested an article and ran it through there, and they're like, "Oh, this person's article is mostly AI." And so I tried one of my own that I knew I had 100% written without AI because it was before AI was even a thing. And
Mhm.
it still registered as like 60% AI. And they're not trying to like brag and say like, "Oh, I'm so great at writing," or whatever. But like I had a
Yeah.
good like editing team and a good writing team working with me as well to make it
Yeah.
really good. And thankfully, like no accusations were made like, "Oh, you did AI." But like I ran it through the thing myself to test it and be like, I don't want to assume this about someone else. Like, how does the same AI detection test work on my own writing? Because I can vouch for that, and I knew that I had not used AI. And it's like, why is that? And I went into the details, and it looked like every time you would use a quote. So if you quote someone for authenticity, even if you properly credit them as an author, that's a mark against you as far as like the AI detection engines go. If you
Yeah.
use if you use a really good structure with great transitional phrases, if it's very unpolished, um, it might show up as more human. But the things that are structured well and have a good transitional phrases, whenever you have like a summary statement that goes back and recaps something you said earlier, um, those are the type of things that is flags. So it was
Yeah.
very interesting, and it brings up a whole conversation about trust. Do we trust the person when they say they haven't used AI? Because
Yeah. It's
sometimes
like
they
I'm
might.
afraid to use an M dash. Not that I've used them much anyway, but it's like now that I'm aware that people automatically will flag an M dash as being AI, um,
Interesting.
I just like don't touch them. I just use commas everywhere. I'll just reword it so I don't have to have that
Yeah,
situation.
because I was trained to use a lot of M dashes, and I was like, huh, if this is gonna be a strike against me, I
Yeah.
have to rethink that.
Yep. That is true. AI learns from others who have already done the work and all the effort, and they unfortunately get no credit when that is used again.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like I'm it's being used so much now in my job. Like AI isn't being used specifically in my job and what I do, but like every time we're having a meeting, we've got people who are making AI pictures of like stuff going on in the office or like graphics and things like that. And every time I just cringe a little bit. I'm like, why?
Yeah. I find a lot of humor in AI generated images. Like, I find it funny in humorous situations. Like, lately, a couple of instances that really drove that in was someone used it to like describe a humorous picture of like what their job was. They had like multiple hands doing multiple things at once. So it was purposely like not realistic. And I think
Yeah.
when it's used in a context like that, it's like, okay, that's funny. And it makes humorous images like in a presentation a little bit more easy to access for someone that doesn't have the art skill. But when it
Hmm.
comes to like passing it as like legit art, that's a whole nother thing.
Yeah. When I was working on my children's book, before I had started working with my illustrator, I was just trying to piece together like what I wanted the story to kind of look like. And so I did generate a couple of like example images just to kind of see like what do I want it to look like about. And then I sent those images to my illustrator to say this is like kind of like what I'm thinking, but I want it to be like a different style. Like I don't want to like steal from this too much because I don't know where this is generating from,
Yeah.
but just to kind of like piece together what I want the picture to sort of look like. And it's like in that way you could use it as a tool, but you're not using the final image, using that as the final illustration.
Yeah. I like that because a lot of people in the writing field don't also have the art skills to convey what they're trying to write. And sometimes there is overlap, like um, between writing and art skills, which is great, but it doesn't happen for all of us. Like in my case, I don't even really think in pictures as much. Sounds a little bit strange to describe, but like I can picture things and I can have like pictures in my memory. It's not like a blank slate, but it's vague. It's like looking at something that's blurry, that's not defined. It's hard for me to picture crisp details. So when it comes to
Mhm.
conveying something like that, it does help to have a tool. Like for my last NaNoWriMo project that I did, I ended up generating a number of AI images that helped me visualize the characters. So I could use it as a descriptor. And then there would usually be a few things that are off, like the hands look a little bit weird or whatever. But like when you're using it as a reference um, to work from, it's easier. Like I have a hard time visually visualizing a style like say steampunk or whatever. Like I have a hard time like coming up with all the elements that go into it. But like if you can generate something that looks like it, I have something that I can go from as far as describing goes. Because words are my strong point, but the graphics are not. Like I can't picture it fully in my mind until see a few reference images, and it's hard to find in especially like fantasy, sci-fi, anything that has an imaginary element to it. I need to use other reference things to kind of build my ideas from, and I don't copy it verbatim, but I'll use it as references for what type of things that I would like to include.
Yeah. Okay. So let's go ahead and do a 10-minute sprint. And I'm going to use that as just quick break, grab a drink, stretch my legs, and we will reconvene for another sprint. Let's see. Figure out. I have no idea if this is going to be in the right spot. There we go.
All right.
Let's see. Ah, you don't picture things in your head when you read it right. We will go ahead and start in 3, 2, 1, and go. Time is up. All right. Managed to grab myself some tea.
Yay!
I've got a rose tea with some almond syrup and honey and some almond milk. So, yes. Should be relaxing.
Yay! I probably should have some more tea, but instead, giving it to my
Jesus.
pleasure.
Still studying. Time to decide what to do for dinner. Aha. I'm assuming it is not as late for you as it is for us. Because it's like after 10 here. Unless you just have dinner that late. Which I will say I did sometimes when I was living alone. Yeah, it's Pacific time. All right. So I saw this right as we were getting ready to start our break. But yeah, you don't picture things when you read or write. Is this oh, what's the name? There's a thing that I know that some people just are not able to picture things. I forget what that's called.
I don't know the name either, but I know what you're talking about. Aphantasia? I think aphantasia.
Yes. I was just looking up that word to see if that was what it was. But yes. I'm curious, is it like that? Like, can you picture things, or is it just you don't when you're writing, or how does that work for you? I do picture things when I write, but there's always like a hole right in the middle, if that makes sense. Because it's like I'll picture the scene, but I can't see details. Because it's like if I try to focus on any one detail of a thing that I'm imagining, it goes away.
Yeah. I would say similar. I can kind of concoct an idea of what people look like, but it would be the best thing I can compare it to is just looking around with very blurry vision and not being able to see very well because it's not details are not very well defined. Like when I'm thinking about a memory, that's kind of how it is. Details are not very well defined. I can't like have photorealistic stuff, and I'd say similar in dreams, although there's a little bit more clarity on specific details in dreams. It's like if it's something that's an important detail, like I've been able to read words off a page in a dream. I have that kind of clarity if needed, but I think it's more tied into one of my strengths is words, or I'll know something specific, like if it's important to the dream, like what color of clothing I'm wearing, I'll remember it, but the other details won't be vivid enough to remember it. Like you'll feel vivid when I'm living in it, but it's more about the story is more vivid than the visuals themselves.
Yeah, I feel like in my dreams, they're always so bizarre and never make full sense. So it's hard to say like what all I'm picturing. But I don't think I've ever, other than once, like actually read something in my dream. There will be times when I have something to read and look at it in my dream. I'm thinking, oh yes, I read this. I know what this says, and I could rattle off what it says, but I don't like actually focus on it and look at the words. Because it's like my brain just doesn't like look. I just like, oh yes, this says whatever I want it to say. but there was one dream I had as a kid that I don't remember much about it. It was one of those crazy dreams that goes from one story into another, and the dream kept changing. But at one point, there was a person who had a name tag on, and I looked at their name tag, and I knew that their name was Bob, but it was spelled Tim. So it's like I saw the name Tim, but I knew that it said Bob because this is Bob, obviously.
Dream logic. There's some
So yeah,
fascinating things here.
that's the only thing I like specifically remember seeing. Let's see. Okay, I gotta go back to vivid dreams, very vague things when you really try, but nothing at all when reading or writing. Okay, so that's kind of like on that scale. I guess aphantasia is sort of a spectrum in a way.
I would describe similar as like it's more vivid in my dreams when it's involuntary versus like what I can call to mind of my own will.
Yeah. See, some of my dreams are in different illustration styles with limited color palettes. Interesting. Let's see. Some have soundtracks.
Ooh.
Interesting. I've never had soundtracks in my dreams. Had the same dream different nights, but from different point of views. I have not had that, but I have had recurring dreams.
Yeah, same.
And it won't be like an identical dream. It will be like at some point in the dream, I have this realization that I'm like, oh, I'm having this dream again.
Yeah. It may come up during the dream, or it may come up when I wake up. I have 3 recurring dreams that have happened over the course of my life. One is the underground marketplace, and it's only happened twice. When I first showed up, I was a little kid. When I came back years later, they were like, "Oh yeah, we remember you from when you were a little kid. Look how our marketplace has grown." I was like, "That's fun."
Oh wow.
And the other one is a big house with a secret history. So, and this one, the location design and details and everything change. Like in one version, it was my grandmother's house that we inherited. In another version, it was just some random house. In another version, we've been living in this house all along and just didn't know it had it upstairs. But it's always there's a secret upstairs. And once you explore, you learn your family's past and find all kinds of rooms that you didn't know you had and things like that.
Oh,
In one
wow.
iteration I found out that it wasn't just me and my sister. There were actually 12 of us sisters at one point, and like 10 of them had gone missing.
Oh man.
And then in my most recurring dream that has happened multiple times in my life is the basement inside a basement dream. And so when I was younger, I was exploring this house in a dream, and I found a basement, and I found a door that led to another basement inside the basement. And I found another door that led to like a narrow channel that you could climb into another basement. So it's like a basement inside a basement inside a basement, and there's some treasure
wow.
inside. And every few years, I will have this dream again, but I age as I do in real life. And by the time I reached the most recent iteration of the dream, like I had been growing and getting bigger as I grew up, so it was like harder to climb into the final channel into the treasure basement. The last one, I sent a representative because I was too big for the opening. Then I sent
Oh.
someone else into the treasure basement to get the treasures for me. And then the last one that I had after that, nobody went into the treasure basement because we brought a Geiger detector and we found out all along it had been radioactive, and we've been going into this radioactive basement, and we shouldn't have.
Oh wow.
So no treasure for us in that version of the dream.
That's crazy. I'm remembering one specific dream that was recurring, and it's never like an identical dream. It's always just I'm in the same situation. But in the main crux of the dream that I remember is that I'm in some house on a second story with this old like standing piano, and I'm trying to decorate it and like paint it and it's in this on the second story, but I have to get it down to the backyard in time for the piano painting competition.
Mm.
Because that's where they're meeting, is in the backyard of this house that I have no idea whose house it is. But I'm upstairs painting it, and I'm, like, waiting for the paint to dry and trying to hoist the piano down with a rope out the window somehow in time for this competition that's, like, starting without me. So it's, like, this stressful time, and I remember having this dream as a kid and then having this dream again as an adult. But it was just I'm in the same situation, and all of a sudden, I remember having been this dreamed this before, and the whole rest of the dream is just me trying to convince everyone that it's a dream because I'm like, "No, no, I've had this dream before, you don't understand, this is a dream," and nobody will believe me.
Oh, no.
Oh, you remember the dialogue
Ooh,
between last night. I sometimes remember that.
that's a really good memory. Like, it's hard to carry, like, full transcripts of anything, let alone, like, a single phrase or 2 into once you wake up.
Yeah. Oh, interesting. Like
Oh.
someone else in your dream. Yes, I've had dreams where I see somebody and it's a face that I recognize because it'll be like somebody I went to school with or somebody I know from work or something. But in my head, I know that there's somebody else that I also know, but isn't the same person. So it's just like I'm seeing them and knowing, oh, this is this person when it actually looks like someone else.
Ooh.
Mummified on a funeral barge.
Oh, was that I had some I think she's referring possibly I think this is referring to a dream I had several years ago. I may have brought it up on a previous call. There
Gotcha.
was one that I was mummified, and I allowed myself to be floated down the river on a funeral barge because my enemies needed to think I was dead, and then I waited till I was hidden in the reeds, and I crawled out of the funeral barge and
Oh,
pulled off the
gotcha.
mummification wrappings, which I have no idea how I did that, but somehow. I think I was starting to become conscious at that point and to have a little bit of control over the dream because I sometimes get that, especially as it gets nearer to the time that I would wake. I get a little bit more control over what happens in the dream when I'm still in the half sleep state. So I told myself it needed to end with me getting out of that mummification wrapping and off that
Gotcha.
barge. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, it was really cool to bring that to memory again. But yes, haunting indeed. I
I
was
still
thinking,
remember the dream you had that you somehow became a can of sparkling water.
yes, that is one of the craziest dreams I had. I think it was the same night as the night that I braided my own hair in my sleep. I think that happened at the same time. It was a crazy dream. But yeah, I dreamt that I was a can of sparkling water, and I was very worried about going into deep freeze storage. And Amanda,
Didn't
it was your
it wasn't
mother-in-law
yeah, my mother-in-law, like, sent you back to the factory or something?
who was gonna send me to deep freeze storage.
Don't think I've ever had the same dream twice. Childhood home, college, and Disneyland that I visit often. See, when I dream of places, they're always like combinations of places. It's like, oh, this is summer camp, but also it's this place I went to when I was a kid one time, and also it was my college campus. But um, dream inside of a
Ooh,
dream. Ooh.
that's very cool.
Yeah, the opposite of anthropomorphism, where you become an
Yeah.
inanimate object.
Yeah,
All
I would
right,
say as
let's.
far as, like,
I was just gonna say, let's get started with another sprint because we have long since passed our timer
yeah.
here, and I got to get some writing done. Let's see. Okay, let's get started in 3, 2, 1, and go.
I was in my closet when the timer went off. Oh, sound cut out. Heard like the faintest. Oh, here we go.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh my goodness, I need to get a new microphone. And I was gonna say I didn't get quite as much done as I wanted to, because as I went into my last few days of this devotional, I realized I had some overlapping traits that I was not going to be able to come up with new things to say about them. So I just had to rework some things, move things from one section into another, remap everything, and decide on kind of some new traits for those last few days. And then finally got that worked out, and then wrote most of one day.
Nice.
But I have a better roadmap for the end of this. And also, my husband and the baby came home from visiting with his parents, and also my parents, who are staying with them right now. So had to say hello to the baby and say goodnight to her.
Oh, yes. Hey, Brie, I'm trying to. Someone sent me something I need to.
I keep forgetting to start the break timer and all that.
Okay, there we go. Yeah.
Okay. Break, start.
Someone messaged me about timing tomorrow. It's like, always trying to keep the phone away from her so she doesn't accidentally hit the wrong thing, commit me to something I'm not able to do. She's a good girl, though.
Yeah.
She's giving me a hug right now. I can't see it, but there's a paw on each side of my neck, so she's giving me a hug. Yes, good girl.
Very sweet. Very snuggly. So, what are your thoughts about another sprint?
I'd be down.
Okay. I feel like this is probably going to be the last sprint. I am most likely going to continue writing after the sprint until this is done, because I'm so close to the end, and I think that just powering through the end, I can probably finish it tonight.
Yeah, totally. Where I'm at on things right now, I'm kind of thinking, rather than push myself into writing when I'm kind of tired and winding down, it'll be more like get the other tasks done, so I won't have them available to default to next time. I'll try to sit down and write.
Makes sense.
Right.
Get rid of all of your procrastination tools.
Yes. Just clear the procrastination deck.
Oh, taking your leave. Thanks for the sprints and company. Thank you for joining us. We're so glad to have you.
Yes, thank you.
I'm doing online classes, but here co-working. Welcome.
Ooh. Good. Curious.
All right. All right. And also, Heidi, I had talked about sharing this document with you. I am now getting close to where I could actually do that. So maybe we'll get lucky and I'll just power through all of these last 3 days, and I'll send that to you this sprint, but we'll see. I think it will probably take longer than that, but I should be sending it to you tonight.
Perfect. That sounds great.
I will warn you in advance. It is rough and needs work. I started it off very simple and blunt, just writing things, and then started developing a voice 3/4 of the way through it, where I realized, oh man, I'm gonna have to go back and change all of the previous days to actually have any kind of personality.
Aww.
And then getting to the end, and now I'm like, oh man, it's all over the place. So it needs some work. But
it's okay.
But at least I want to know that it makes sense, structurally, the content is sound and that it, you know, sounds like it makes any sense.
Totally.
Cool.
We've got this. We're almost there.
Yes. Take another sip of tea, brace myself for this last sprint. See how much I can get done. If I can finish this, I'm gonna. All I want to do after that I finish this is just take a break for like 2 weeks. But unfortunately, I have got to start the editing process like immediately to try and get this out. But you know,
You
after
can,
that, I can take a break.
you can take a break.
All right, break is just about over. I might as well just go to our next sprint and get it over with. Up our banner. And we will start our last sprint in 3, 2, 1, go. All right. Time is up.
Sweet cat has fallen asleep on my seat.
I did not finish, but I got through to. See, I have 2.5 days left.
Nice.
So I'm so close.
Got this adorable photo earlier. She was propped up on my yard sale box. Looks like she's trying to sell something.
Oh, very nice. And so you got to get posters for to advertise your yard sale.
Oh, lots of progress.
Yeah. Definitely gonna be finishing this after my stream, but yeah, I'm really glad to have gotten so much done.
Oh, yes.
In past streams, I've been lucky to get 5 days done, and now the fact that I'm gonna be getting 9 done in one night is like,
It's pretty good.
yeah. Because I can't stay up too late because I've got to get up early for work and all that, and then my parents are coming over in the morning.
Oh.
Which I'm very excited about. We're gonna spend a day since they live out of town. They're coming over to spend some time with us, and we're gonna have a day of like a combined Mother's Day and Father's Day.
Oh. That's special.
Yeah.
I'm going to keep Mother's Day early for my mom as well this year, which I'm glad that I got a chance because I don't know when the next time will be that I think we'll be in town.
Mm-hmm.
Busy summer ahead.
Oh yeah. I'm trying to think what we've got planned. I know we've got some things planned, but yeah, a lot of house projects that need to get done, which is going to be busy for a while. I know, like we started a list of all of the things that we want to do to our house, and it's like
Ooh.
we've got to get trees cut down. We've got to get we're going to paint the bathroom and replace all the hardware in it. It's just like long list of projects that there's no way we're going to get it all done, but we're going to have to start making our way through the list.
Yeah.
And it's funny because like Sundays are our only day that we have time to do things, but then that means we don't get free time because that's also our free time. So we've got to try and balance that. But yeah. Anyway, I feel like we got a lot done.
We did. Well, the progress doesn't show on the screen, and my room is significantly cleaner.
Yeah, it looked clean from the beginning for,
Yeah, it's like
for all
the
of us.
area off camera that was a wreck is less of a wreck.
Yeah.
It was important to beat up, but
Right. Alright, well, I should probably end the stream for tonight. Let me see what my schedule looks like before I go ahead and commit. I don't think I'm going to be streaming next week because I might be attending a class
okay.
at the public library. There's like a macrame class
Wow,
that
how
seems
cool.
interesting. So if that ends up like getting canceled, or if I end up deciding not to do that, then I might just have a pop-up stream and stream anyway. But I also just might take the week off since I just will have finished a very long project.
Worth it. Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. Alright, so my next for sure stream day should be the 18th,
Right, let's see.
following Monday.
I panicked for a moment because I was looking at the wrong calendar. I was looking at June for some reason. I was like, what? Let's see. When did you say that was? The 18th?
Yes.
Yeah, I
2
should be
weeks
free
from
then.
Cool. All right, we will plan on that then.
Productivity.
I will try to do a better job at like actually scheduling the stream and promoting it everywhere because I always forget. Like I'll announce that I'm gonna stream on a certain day, so it's like kind of loosely scheduled, but I haven't actually like scheduled the stream on StreamYard and I haven't put it on the AuthorTube channels. I haven't put it on any of the Discord groups that I'm in. I haven't like talked about it in any of the streams, like in the chats that I'm watching throughout the day. So it's like nobody knows that I exist.
Oh,
Until 5 minutes before I'm like, oh yeah, I'm streaming. And so I start promoting it everywhere and there's no time for anyone to see it.
we had some great guests today. So
Yeah, we did have a few people. That was
yeah, for not
great.
advertising, we did pretty good.
Yes. I'm hoping that just the consistency of streaming almost every week will start to get some regulars that like I know Palavuni has been a regular for a while, like anytime I stream. But yeah, just having people expect that Monday is stream night
Yes.
then or sprint night or whatever. All right. Well, I'm gonna go ahead and sign off and finish this darn book.
All right. You got
And I
this.
will send it to you as soon as I am done.
Cool. I'll be looking forward to it.
All right. Have a good night, everyone.
You as well.
Bye.
Bye.